To make the lacy clusters, you're going to do a chain where the number of chains is a multiple of 6. So I'm going to do 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Once you have your multiple of 6, you will then add 4 more chains. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you are ready to begin. To begin row 1, you're going to skip the first 3 stitches and work into the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, and going into this 4th chain, you're going to do 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and then do another double crochet right into that same stitch. Just like that. And then you're going to skip the next 2 stitches. So skip these 2. And into this stitch, you're going to do 1 puff stitch. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, bring up a loop. And you're going to do that 4 times. So there's 1, yarn over, insert into the same stitch, bring up a loop. There's 2, yarn over, insert hook, bring up your loop. There's 3, and yarn over, insert hook, bring up your loop, and that's 4. That should give you 9 loops on your hook. You're going to grab your yarn and pull through all 9 of those loops. Just like that. And that is your puff stitch. Now we're going to chain 1. And then we will get a little twisted up here. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches. So skip 1, 2, and then we'll repeat our repeating sequence. So we're going to skip 2 into this next stitch. You're going to do 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and do another double crochet right into that same stitch. Into, let's see, we just did a double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches and do our puff stitch. So yarn over, insert hook, bring up a loop. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Grab your yarn, pull through all 9 of those loops, and then chain 1. And that's going to be your repeating sequence for the remainder of your row. So once you've done your puff stitch, you'll skip the next 2 stitches. In the following stitch, you'll do 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, skip the next 2 stitches, and do another puff stitch. And when you come to the end of your row, let's see, we're going to skip these 2 stitches, and in the final stitch you will do 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 double crochet into that same stitch. Now that we've reached the end of our row, we'll chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and turn your work. To begin row 2, we will start in this chain space here and do 1 puff stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook, draw up your loop, that's 1. Yarn over, insert your hook, draw up a loop, that's 2. 3 and 4. Grab your yarn, pull through all 9 loops that are on your hook, just like that. Now we're going to move to this chain that had closed your puff stitch and do 1 double crochet, just like that. Chain 2, 1, 2, and then do another double crochet right into that same stitch. And this will be your repeating sequence for the remainder of your row. So move to that next chain space and put in your puff stitch. Oops. Try to do a double crochet. All right, start over. 1 puff stitch into that chain. Bring up the loop, yarn over. It's 2, 3, and 4. Grab the yarn, pull through all 9. We'll move over here. This is the stitch that closed our last puff stitch, and we'll do 1 double crochet, chain 2, and then another double crochet into that same stitch. There we go. We're down to our last chain space here, so we'll do 1 more puff stitch here. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Grab the yarn, pull through all 9 of those loops. Now that we've reached the end of our row, we're going to do 1 double crochet into this last chain space here. There we go. And then we chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and turn your work. And that is row 2. To begin row 3, we're going to work into this stitch that was at the top of our puff here, and we're going to do 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and another double crochet right into that stitch, just like that. Now we move to this chain space here, and we're going to add our puff stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook, bring up your loop. Yarn over, insert your hook, bring up your loop. Yarn over, insert your hook, bring up your loop. And one more time, bring up the loop. You should have 9 loops on your hook, and pull through all 9. Oops, all 9 of them. Now you're going to chain 1, and then in this space that's at the top of our puff from the previous row, you'll do your 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and another double crochet right into that stitch. There we go. Move to the next chain space and do another puff. So yarn over, insert your hook. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Grab your yarn, pull through all 9 loops. There's your puff. Now you're going to chain 1 and come here to this stitch that was at the top of your previous puff and do 1 double crochet, chain 2, and another double crochet right into that same stitch. And you'll just keep doing that until you come to the end of your row. Once you have reached the end of your row, you will come here to this last chain space and do 1 double crochet, and then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're ready to turn. From this point on, you will repeat rows 2 and 3 until you have reached the length that you're looking for your work.